like to welcome everybody to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. Thank you for coming today on this beautiful Florida Day and Mother's Day. Special greeting to the mothers. And we'll try to get the service going because I'm sure all the mothers have Mother's Day plans. I know my mother does expect me to be somewhere. At 87, no excuse matters. Just a couple quick housekeeping rules. I'd like to silence your cell phones unless you're law enforcement or medical personnel. The bathrooms are down the hall. Quick grab, quick left. Cold drinks in the fridge, hot drinks on the table in the back. Help yourself to any of those at any time. I'd like to have Deborah Denberg light the candles to start the service, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. We're all here today. Thank you, Deborah.
There's a little
Yeah, that's the case. The older you get, the more that happens, I guess. As long as the Spirit's here, that's what counts. Ours as well as God's. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the first one. An attitude of prayer. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment in time here today. May we sense your love and hope present at all times within our lives, but especially here today. May we share that with those around us. May we share our own love and hope with those around us. And may we all be more than we were when we came because of it. Amen.
Amen. Let's see, on the gold pages, let's see, hymn number 11, Peace Like a River. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul.
Is a thought from the day from the pastor, something I've encountered through the week, put into a spiritual perspective through the philosophy I'm trying to bring into practice in my life. I guess one of the things I observed this past week that really impacted me a little bit was perception. Perception of things that happen, how you perceive events and how differently people perceive the same events. And I guess you perceive it two ways, through your senses, through your stored memories, through your own personal consciousness, and then there's the consciousness of God that you're trying to bring into your life, the inspiration of that, the view of that. Over the years of practicing this, I can pretty well see both views clearly. I don't always embrace the Spirit, though. Sometimes I just choose to act on my own mind's perception. And I have that right, as does everybody else. And I guess the quandary of when I do that and why I do that is because the spiritual solution seems to take a lot more time to happen. It's not an immediate thing. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in the moment. Spiritual solutions tend to take a lot longer of a time to happen, but they're much more permanent once they happen. My solution tends to solve it right now, but it comes back around again. So I guess the faith is to just trust and have patience to be able to wait for the Spirit to work with it and make it happen right. And like I said, everybody has the right. God inspires, and so do whatever spiritual helpers you believe that you have. They only inspire and suggest. They don't mandate or command. You have the right to decide. And like I said, sometimes we just don't quite decide right. And the difference between spiritual perception and my perception most of the time is that spiritual perception shows you the actual truth of the situation. You see the truth of it without justification, without the ability to make excuses. If it was your fault or partially your fault, you see that clear as a bell. And if it's partially or mostly someone else's fault, you see that clear as a bell. But then the solution comes in through your spiritual discipline. And once again, if it's a very difficult thing, it just seems like it's going to take too long for God and Spirit to work sometimes. And that, again, is the challenge, the faith to trust that if you want a permanent solution or a part-time solution. And there's a saying in the financial world that kind of fits this a little bit. Short-term gain, long-term pain, don't do it. And that's the same way with solutions to your life. Short-term gain, long-term pain, don't do it. And yeah, I have to have these sayings because my mind gets real smart about convincing me to do other things. Like I said, most of the time I know that it's my mind and not God or Spirit. I never confuse the two. It's pretty clear to me which one's which, and I step into it, whichever one I choose to take on, knowing full well what it involves. And that's what you just have to do. If you decide to do your own mind, step into it full, knowing what you bought and what you got coming. And if it's Spirit and God, then step into it and embrace it, knowing what it's going to take to make that work. And don't blame anybody else or anyone else for the choice you make. You made it, right, wrong, or indifferent. See it through and get it done. Even wrong choices, seemingly wrong choices, are used by God to guide you to a greater spiritual awareness. Because as an honest spiritual person, even if you choose not quite so correct path, you see what it's done. You see fully what needs to be done to move out of it. So you grow even through seemingly incorrect decisions. God's in all of it, not just you. It's always said that the church is like a three-legged stool. One's the music, one's the congregation, and one's the message. So I think we got the music and the congregation over pretty good. And we're going to have a good talk today about the message. So looking forward to a great service. The music's really nice because we got Lori up there and we got the Amen corner over there. And all y'all over here that still have your voice to it. So you don't usually sit in the Amen corner. She's crossed over. Bird Bruce, huh? The next portion of the service is the healing portion. And have Lori, Judy, and Marty do the healing today. You up to it, Marty?
I'm going to not do it today.
Okay. See, I know there's Ann. Would you like to heal today?
Sure.
Ann. You get to do messages today. We'll start the healing portion by reading the prayer for spiritual healing on the back of the hymnal. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. During the service, you're going to hear a chime during Ashkhen's guided meditation. That means the healing chairs become vacant. Usually there will be one in the back, and I'll move you up front. That way you can enjoy the meditation and the healing also. I'll bring Ashkhen up now.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit where there is no tension on your physical body. Take in a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. With each breath, relax your body. Let go of the thoughts that are on your mind. With your breath, just breathe it out. Let it go for now. Breathe in and breathe out. Connect with the rhythm of your breath. Just follow your breath. That is taking you deeper and deeper within yourself to a very peaceful and quiet presence. That feels calm and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence. While you breathe, repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. With each inhale and exhale, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. While you breathe, feel the peaceful sensations going throughout your body, your mind, your spirit. I am at peace within and with my surroundings. peaceful state of your consciousness. This is your divine presence, the true state of being. Embrace this peaceful aspect of your being. Regardless of what goes around in your life, embrace this peaceful aspect of your consciousness. Embrace and be still. Be still within. For it is in this stillness that you sense wholeness. For it is in the silence and the quietness you become aware of who you are. You are an infinite being, a multi-dimensional being. Embrace this infinite aspect of yourself. Feel your breath connecting you with your heart. Become aware of your heart chakra in the center of your chest. While you breathe, feel your heart breathing as well. With each inhale and exhale, your heart chakra expanding and contracting. Feel your heart opening up to God's unconditional love and compassion. Feel God's loving energy flowing out of your heart in the form of a pink rose energy, flowing in and around your body. Feel God's loving energy embracing you, comforting you. Feel this loving energy extending to the person next to you. Filling this entire room. Follow this energy that is extending out. Envision Mother Earth in front of you. She is calling you to share her love and beauty with you. See yourself in the center of the earth. And you are observing the beauty, the nature, and the natural resources of our Mother Earth. beauty of the mountains, the rocks, the minerals, the crystals, to the bodies of water, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes and streams. The beauty of the forests, the Amazons, plants, trees, vegetation. To all the animals and the creatures of the earth, of the sky, while you observe all these beauty, feel your connection. Feel your connection with nature, with animals, the minerals. Envision Mother Earth embracing you as a child holding you in her arms, comforting you. Comforting you with her everlasting love, the motherly love. Feel the warmth. Thank Mother Earth for sharing her love and beauty. Give gratitude for providing you with the cool breeze air, the fresh air that you breathe, for the food and shelter, for your physical body to grow and nurture. Thank Mother Earth. Feel your connection extending further out to the universe. Feel your connection with the other planets, with the moon, with the sun, and the stars. And while you breathe, feel everything breathing with you. With that one breath, the same breath, the breath of God. Feel Mother Earth breathing, the nature, all the animals, the minerals. And with the knowing that you are one with all. Feel that oneness consciousness, that oneness breath that is within each one of us, the breath of your Creator, the omnipresence that is within each soul, within each plant, within each tree, within each animal. Feel that everlasting consciousness, the universal love that is holding us together as one consciousness, as one love. Feel the energy from the nature nurturing your body. The light from the sun enlightening your soul and spirit. Let this vision integrate deep into your consciousness. And with the knowing that you have the power to create your realities, create heaven on earth. As you once created in those higher dimensions of the universe, that creative power is within you, wherever you are. Create heaven on earth. Envision Mother Earth standing with her beauty and with her surroundings. And you, part of this universal creation. Feel your breath. That is bringing you back slowly. Become aware of your physical body. Engage with your physical senses. Feel the love that is surrounding you from within and without. And wherever you are, just be the love that you are. Be the light that you are. Become aware of your physical body. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Back to the here and now. Thank you.
I'll end this portion with an inspirational reading. Calmness is constructive of good. Agitation. Calmness is constructive of good. Agitation is destructive of good. I should not rush into action. I should be still and know that Spirit is with me. Then I should act only as I am guided through the higher mind, through my conscience. Only trust, perfect trust in the higher Spirit, can keep me calm when all around me are agitated. Calm is trust in action. I should seek all things which can help me to cultivate calmness. To attain material things, the world learns to attain speed. To attain spiritual things, I have to learn to attain a state of calm. All right. Next portion of the service is the inspiration lecture. Today we have Dr. James Thomas, somebody who at one time was my guide and mentor some 20-some years ago or more. Traveled around, did some work together quite a bit. Really enjoyed each other's company. Now he's become a good friend. Helped me a lot with the church, and I appreciate all that. He's done his life's work founding organizations where there were none, teaching things that were untaught, and helping those that needed help. So let's welcome Dr. James Thomas today.
Didn't show green, is it supposed to? Well, I had red. It's green. Good morning and happy Mother's Day.
Good morning.
Everybody asked what I was going to speak about today. And I said, well, I really don't know. But to begin with, Mother's Day originally was conceived in May of 1907 by Anna Jarvis. Through a seance, it was considered the second Sunday of the month, and a white carnation was represented for Mother and Spirit, and a red carnation for those mothers that are still alive. Well, I don't like the color red that much, so I like the color pink. So today we're doing pink and white flowers. Mothers are very special. I can count in this room right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 that pretend they want to be my mother. Yesterday we had Gala Day in Casadega, which was a big success. But I started moving the chairs around, and I get from this one over here, stop doing that. I get from this one over here, you're not supposed to be moving the chairs. But I did anyways, because I said I'm a Sag and I'll do what I want to do. But anyways, Mother's Day is very important. I have to go back in my lifetime and that with my mother. My mother was a beautiful lady, a beautiful soul. But when I was in practice in California, it seemed like my mother always had some problems. She'd like to put all her problems on me. So she had me learn to cook when I was about 12 years old, so she didn't have to do the cooking anymore. And however she did participate, she says, you need to learn to cook, because she says, if you have a wife one of these days, they won't know how to cook.
Right on.
Right on. Most women don't know how to cook. Most men know how to cook better than their wives do. So that started out. But whenever she had a little thing that happened to her, she would call me. And I'm taking care of 100 patients a day. in my practice. And everybody says, how did you do it? I says, well, I start at 5 o'clock in the morning and I ended at 10 o'clock at night. So I had a busy schedule. That was Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I ran our metaphysical center. She would always call me in the middle of the day and say, you've got to come to Florida right away. I'm having a bad time. I'm going in the hospital. I need to have this operation. I need to have this done. So finally I said to her, the next time she called, I said, Ma, I says, don't call me anymore. Call me when you're out of the hospital. And then, but I'll send you prayers all this time when you're in the hospital. So finally, naturally, you have to send flowers, and I had to do all these little things because that's what she expected of me. So then along, my sister comes. She was older than me. My darling sister, people know her as Betty. And she passed away 3 years ago, right?
It'll be 2.5.
2.5 years. And all of a sudden, my sister became my mother. Well, that was a chore because my sister, when I was a baby, would not walk me down the street because everybody would say she had an illegitimate child. Because my mother was 47 when she had me, and my sister was 16 years old. So, you know, in those days, things were a little bit different than now. Kids get pregnant at 12 years old today. So, anyways, so actually, my mother and father didn't have that much to do with me. It was my sister and my brother-in-law that took care of me as I got older. He took me to the baseball games, he played baseball with me, and all those things that you do as you're supposed to be a father. So I got him ready for his fatherhood when my sister got married. So all this time, women have always seemed to be an important part of my life, wanting to be mothers. It's okay. I'll take all the mothering I can get. Because, you know, mothers help my heart to open up more. And I love the mothering. I love it when Florence and Burl comes over and puts castor oil packs on me from head to toe. I just think they want to see my body. No. When we were in California, my partner Joseph, because he was in my life for 22 years, and we would have this thing about women trying to latch on to me. And the biggest thing was we had a woman who was very well known in the metaphysical world in California. Her name was Muriel Isis. And we had people come from England. And we all went down to our place that we had in Oceanside, which is a beautiful beach and everything else. So we celebrated full moon down there. And when we came back, I noticed when I walked into our center, there were cards. Reverend Muriel Isis Thomas. So I took a seat back and I says, what is this? She says, oh, we got married on the inner planes. So she very quietly demanifested from our center. Then she tried to get back into my life again, and we had 75 steps up to my house.
Wow.
So she arrives at the base, and I had a houseboy there at that time named Stanley. And I said to Stanley, I says, look at what's coming. And Joseph says, she got up to the front steps, and Joseph looked at her and says, what do you think you're doing? She says, I'm moving in. I'm Mrs. Thomas. And Joseph looked at her and says, sorry, lady, you're not getting my man. So that's been my life. Mothers are all around me. So it's a happy Mother's Day. It's a wonderful day. So we got to give thanks for our mothers. I give thanks for everyone that want to be my mother. At least you haven't become my mother yet, so it's okay.
I'm a good friend.
You're a good friend. We'll keep it at that. But it's very strange how my life has evolved. I'll soon be 80 years old, and I'll take all the mothering I can get now. And so on. So anyways, just be thankful. Be thankful who and what's been in our lives. I've been chastised. I've been hung on the cross. Ann knows the story. I just told her the story. But we had a very famous medium in Casadega this past week ago. And his name was Michael Shane. Everybody thought he was a phony. His materialization seance was absolutely fantastic. He brought through beautiful stones out of his mouth. He was shackled, he was tied, he was done everything to. And his father, his legitimate father was Reverend Keith Reinhardt, founder of the Aquarian Foundation. So the Aquarian Foundation is sort of disbanding. Keith died in 1999, and Keith sued me for $5 million. And we went to court for 3 whole days, and finally it was all dismissed, and I just had to write a letter of apology to him. But it was all misconceived and everything else. So I had a go long talk with his son over the airports, and I says, well, I want to do that. And he says, well, he says, you believe in the Ascended Masters so strongly that, he says, but I don't think the Masters are going to open up a portal underneath your tongue. And the portal underneath his tongue is about this big around. And this is how the Masters conjugate and bring through the apports. And as he opened up his mouth, and that we took the tape off, the apports all fell out of his mouth. Precious gemstones. So I know he wasn't a phony. His father was not a phony, because I've been in seances with his father in Hawaii. So all of these things come around, but I've been nailed to the cross several times. I give thanks for all my mothers that are here today. And it's a blessing. I've had a good life, I've had a wonderful life. And I've had many things. But the most important thing is I have to give thanks to my mother. She's in spirit. And also my sister's in spirit. And 2 very important people in my life. So just go back today and think about your mother. Think about the joy that you had. I had a woman the other day for a reading, and I said, this is your mother's side of the family, your grandmother's here. And all of a sudden her mother came in and says, tell her I want her to forgive me. And she sat there and she said to me, I'll never forgive my mother. I'll never forgive my mother. And she says, she was the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I says, until you fill that love with void and forgive your mother, I says, you're going to carry that until you die. So I said, you better start forgiving your mother today and make amends so that you can make an easy transition. So finally she got through with the tears and everything else, and she forgave her mother. So that was a big blessing. So we just have to count our blessings every day. With that, I say God bless you and thank you, and have a happy Mother's Day.